Welcome to our next adventure with Chemology 411, a podcast about anything and everything. Kim and her guests will take you behind the scenes, behind the story, or behind the bar. So sit back. Make sure your seatbelt is fastened, tray table in its upright position, all carry-ons stored under the seats. But for this adventure, electronic devices must remain on, as we are ready to take off on our next adventure. Introducing Kim Schultz and Chemology 411.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 41 of Chemology 411. This evening, we've got a few different things to talk about, but I had an encounter that made me want to speak about artificial intelligent customer service, AI, bots, or any of those things that are pretending to be human but are not, and you're going to find out if I like them or not. I am Kim Schultz, and I'm your adventure coordinator for this show. Let's say hi to my co-host, Tyson Harley.
So did the AI go, give me a claws? Do you get that?
No.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator when he comes down naked. He goes, give me a claws. Speaking of, so not that yet. Of course, you'd be like, "Oh, you look okay for an AI."
Exactly. Well, I didn't say that. I didn't say that the like is it the AIs at Westworld. You ever seen Westworld?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all robots, so they're all whatever. I mean, that's a messed up show right there. But there were some of them on there. I wouldn't. Well. I mean,
okay.
They were.
Well, that might be. You're gonna have to keep that towards the end of the episode to follow our usual. So, all right, what time is it? It's time for Tyson's Quick Hit with a little bit of a delay there. And the first thing I wanted to quick hit on is, I don't know if you know this, but our studio is pretty advanced. Oh, anyway, it just got better, though.
Oh, yeah, it's
because
state of the art.
Yeah,
I mean, we're in a state, and there is art.
Old art. Art can be old. Anyway, though Kim did get an improvement. She got a little splitter, so I can actually, like the radio days. Oh, it's like my halcyon days of radio.
I did.
Where I can hear my voice and therefore pay more attention as to whether I'm close to the speaker or not. It's pretty amazing. So thank you for that. We are both listening now so that we can monitor our voices. So that's
right.
Awesome. Thanks, Kimmy. Quick hit number 2. I want to mention that we did an excursion that just kind of bubbled up from deep inside me.
Just real quick threw something together for 27 hours. I don't think you slept for how many days?
Okay, anyway, it was on that phenomenon that we're all talking about this year, and it was about me trying to understand where we are with actual mortality rate, which was supposed to be the point early on, but now for some reason the point is just merely case. Anyway, The short version is you can go to the... I put it up on the Scales of Truth as an episode. I think Kim's still going to put up in his excursion over here. Yes. We did a simulcast, and it's really long, but mostly because I give you the numbers early, and then I give you the proof. If you're like me, sometimes you hear numbers and you go, I wonder how well thought through that was. And we just, basically bury that.
We did not. We were there. Tyson buried it.
So
dug it up, buried it again. It resurrected. And then he buried it again.
Kim started running out of the cemetery.
I was lost. I was like,
anyway, point is that the most of it is the proof of the numbers that I find interesting. Some of you may geek out on. And then we talked about the phenomenon in general. The big thing is that worst case, if you figure through Kansas, this is a study of Kansas that can be applied to other states pretty darn easily. And I said, hey, worst case, we have really, really, really conservative numbers that say this ought to be spread through 6% of the state and up to, initially I said 12 to 17, then I split the numbers to 6 to 8.5. And when that was the case, we looked at mortality in Kansas and got right near the flu mortality rate, which is 1/10 of 1%. So look into that if you'd like. And of course, I had fun with it. But more importantly, I put up an outline. I put up a real nice outline, both on the Tyson page on Facebook. I just added that tonight, and then over on, where do I put it? Audio Boom. I always am a little confused as to what platforms really capture that outline well. So you can both listen to it and have all that information there right in front of you. Quick hit number 3. I am misinforming the new kitty kitty on the nature of humans. So
Oh, no.
This is great. I just loved... I love that I realized this. So I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm in the same room as my cat, who's just chilling there as only his 15th day. No, his 13th day. And he's sitting there in his little corner in the office where he has a window seat, of course.
Right.
And he knows he can't get on the main desk, and he's up there in his bed looking out the window, but also looking at me. And all of a sudden, I start going, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. And I start dancing around and doing because I'm happy. And I see him kind of going, huh. So think about this. It's probably the first time he saw a human do anything like that, like dance weird.
Yeah.
And just kind of sing. And think about that. He's been in a shelter.
Yeah.
How many times do most people even do that? Exactly. So here he is in his early formative months going, okay. And I can just see in his head, you could see him going like, huh, so humans do that, huh?
What is this? What is this? And what did I get myself into?
I've never seen this before.
Can I go back? Can I get out of this?
No, I think he was interested. He was just anyway. It kind of cracked me up because I could see his little mind going, well, that's interesting. kind of like my rabbit, a rabbit that looks at me. Right.
Like...
And another thing that I'm finding interesting is that I'm pretty strict about, I don't want you up here, I don't want you over here, I don't want you here. Oh, this is a good spot. So pretty consistent because I got nothing better to do than to help train my cat. But it made me think of this.
Now that sounded,
how to train your cat.
That sounded pathetic.
Hey,
I got nothing better to do in my
also
entire
I'm
life.
stuck inside. Did that bring...
Oh, you are not. You are not. Oh, stuck inside it for work.
Right. I'm at work. I'm 100% at home right now.
Okay.
So did that bring back memories of when I said I was walking on the bridge near?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Near the
back in I don't know, episode 5 or something, 2 or 3, when I'm at Party Cove.
Yeah, Party Cove on the lake.
And you're the one sitting up on the bridge just looking down at all of us having a good time.
So anyway, with the other cat, he knew not to get on the counter. R.I.P. buddy boy.
Aww.
But every once in a while he'd try. But then I'd come around the corner and he would already be meowing like, listen, man.
Listen,
can we talk about this?
I got an explanation.
Wait a second. Are you sure? He knew that I was going to be like, please don't tell me no 20 times in a row. Please don't. Just this once. And he would preemptively.
He already had a story.
Meow. 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 So anyway, I'm getting that way with the new cat. He's like, seriously? Okay.
What's going to happen when you have to go back to work?
I think hopefully he'll be trained a bit by then.
He'll be like, where's my human?
Or have his habits. Like I put up something in front of the cat. The other cat did not scratch anything. My lazy boy never scratched. I've had that for 7, 8, 9 years. Same thing with my couch. Nothing scratched. So I just put up dry erase boards and for now in front of the corner of the couch arm where he can get to, and I have a big old, just basically I threw a comforter over the lazy boy because then it doesn't look like something that's really stable that he can scratch on. Right. So hopefully I see he wants to chew on cords, and you just got to stop that over and over and over and over again. Right. So anyway, I thought it was pretty funny because I can see him starting to kind of oh boy, this guy is really, really consistent, and it's kind of getting to me, but it's going to work. Quick hit number 4. So, speaking of setting at home, because last week it's like I now have a capability to get to anything I can at work from at home. So because of this nonsense, it adds to social distancing, and I'm working from home 100%, not just 50%. So doing that, one thing that I found in this couple of days where I now have a laptop. I didn't have a laptop at all before, except my old one that just wasn't fast enough. That's why I got the new computer. So I decided to sit on the front porch and you've heard me say that I like to ground. Sit on the front porch in the morning before the sun gets high. By the way, 9:40. That's 9:40 a.m. is when it peaks past my tree and starts to absolutely beam on me. Before then, it's perfect on a hot day. And so I'm sitting there, and my sister does this thing where she's very introverted. She doesn't even like to sit in her backyard because she thinks the neighbors are going to be looking. I don't know. She literally... We said it.
Take a shot.
High five.
Take a shot. Take a shot.
She bought one of those tents that are kind of like when you are at an art fair, and you can put up the curtains on the big square ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like when you're at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
And she did that so she can have...
a canopy.
Yeah, she can have cover. She can still be outside. And the neighbors doesn't have to look at her. So I've always said, come on, man, just sit in your yard. It's fine. I mean, she knows she wants to ground, too, put her feet on the ground. I've talked about how that decreases inflammation. So I'm thinking, kill two birds with one stone, get a focused start on work, because it's just a laptop. No social media can be distracting me. And I'm out there, and I'm working, and it's in the morning. It's a nice start, and I'm grounding. Well, somebody goes by on only the second day I'm doing this, and she sees me out there. Well, I've decided you can see what am I wearing today. Not jeans, not...
Yeah, like a khaki kind of a pair of pants.
Yeah, so casual work, even though I didn't go in. So I don't know if this will hold, but at least some days I'm like, gets me in the spirit of being professional a little bit more. So even though I'm staying home...
Yeah, look, what do I got wearing my professionality? I got Mickey Mouse and I got athletic shorts on.
But you're so used to
makeup. I got makeup on. I had to do a podcast today.
There you go.
On Zoom.
So, so I'm out there and I am dressed like I'm working.
Good.
And I'm on my laptop.
You were dressed.
I'm dressed like I'm working. Sorry. That there is some question there. It's probably a good... Otherwise... and somebody walks by on the way. This is basically my street is right where people go when they decide to walk over near a local area that it's a lot of people walk at. And all of a sudden she starts giggling. And I'm like, oh... And then she's like, oh, that's good. And you know why? It's because I was dressed up, working on a little desk, and I had my shoes and socks off. So I thought it was perfect. I'm double timing things, right?
Right.
But she thought it was kind of funny, and I didn't think that would bother me. I'm like, no problem. I can put energy on. Like, yeah, it's pretty good, right? Yeah, I gotta take advantage. Blah blah blah. I had a short conversation. When she came back, I was still doing it. I even initiated contact. Like, still doing it.
What?
She goes, yeah, where are you working? I say all that stuff. I mean, she's still on the street. I don't want her to get anywhere near. I just sort of got my outside voice. But anyway, I didn't think much of it, and then it was this morning. I said, I'm not going to go outside. What if that lady walks by? I'll have to have that same awkward conversation again. Isn't that bizarre?
She might be the one.
No, she was older.
Okay.
She was older. I'm pretty sure she was married and everything. So no,
Okay.
she wasn't the one or anything. But I just I was making fun of my sister. Not making fun of her, just like, that seems odd. Just go out there and sit. It's fine. You got a big yard.
Going out.
And then just this very next morning, I'm like, I don't know if I want to go in. What if she comes out and then she'll be like, oh, still doing it. I'm like, yeah, still doing it. It's, it decreases inflammation and stuff and stuff and that's it for Tyson's Quick Hits.
Yeah, you didn't look like nerdly bored her. Should have changed her route.
That's true. Maybe if I just do it enough, she'll be like, okay, now I'm getting awkward,
yeah,
too.
This is awkward. Make her change her route.
I do want to do that, but see, I could maybe go to the other side of the house in the morning, but then that feels not as cool because it's real close to a fence.
Yeah.
The air doesn't come through. It's just a nicer view out in front. But really, that really did affect me. It's like, oh no, then she's going to come by again. And so just examples of when you know you're an introvert, I suppose.
I guess. So, we had one of the most spectacular 4th of Julys probably anybody ever had.
I mean...
It was like out of control.
I know, it's so good. I'm going to have one of these marshmallows over here because...
You go for it. Those are strawberry and the strawberry ones.
I think they're still from 4th of July. They're a little stuck together or something.
I just bought them today.
S'mores.
Yeah, I didn't have s'mores yet, but
that's
what
we can do when we get to 50th.
Yes.
When we get to 50th, we're going to go outside. You got a fire pit?
I do.
Dude, we're going to do s'mores.
S'mores. And you know what? Those strawberry in a s'more with chocolate is to die for. That's why I bought them.
You know what? I only remember memories of s'mores from being a kid, and there were no flavored marshmallows.
There wasn't, but those strawberry ones are pretty good.
I bet they're delicious.
They're very good. So, no, actually, last week, I actually got to go swimming with my friend at the pool, and on Friday, I headed down to Kansas City and met up with my friend Frankie, and we hung out for a while, and then her and I went to the casino, and then we ate. I'm trying to think of the days, because I think I met her at the casino, and then we went and ate pizza down
Did
in
you
Lenexa.
take a 3-day weekend like a lot of people did just because Friday was the 3rd? You did?
Well, yeah. I took more time off than I normally do. I mean, I'm always working. If someone texts me, one of my clients texts me, but they didn't. But yeah, I went down Friday afternoon, and we went to the casino because they have like a 3-day weekend thing. You get more free money the more you go on the weekend.
Nice.
With that, we ate pizza, and then I was like, she goes, we should go to Krispy Kreme's and get donuts. But by the time we got done with the pizza, Krispy Kreme, because now everything has to close early because the virus comes out at night. The virus comes out at night. The virus comes out at night.
Speaking of dancing in front of my cat,
the virus comes out at night.
Does that make you sad too that I dance in front of my cat?
No, I love it. Your cat will be. You'll be coming home, and your cat will be just shaking this little groove thing.
You've seen him now on camera. That tail, man.
Oh yeah, he's adorable.
He's adorbs.
He is adorable. But we were like, okay, we can't do Krispy Kreme, and she's like, well, we could do Dunkin' Donuts, and I said, I don't care, donuts in the morning. And it was weird because I don't really eat donuts very often, but I'm thinking vacation, which is like every other day for me, but hey, I still celebrate it. So I said, well, let's go by Dunkin' Donuts. Well, we got by Dunkin' Donuts, we looked in there was no donuts on the rack, and she said, why don't we just go look to see what Hy-Vee has, which is one of our grocery stores here. So we go into the grocery store, and we're walking around, and we're looking at stuff, and she's like, these donuts don't look good. Now, if anyone knows Frankie, she is a very particular person. She can listen to this, and she'd be like, damn straight I'm particular. Anyway, I said, you know what? Why don't we just go get a roll of cinnamon rolls and just make cinnamon rolls? And so she's like, yeah. And then she goes, oh, let's get Rhodes cinnamon rolls. And I was like, what? You just took it to a whole new level. So into the freezer section.
So you knew what that meant?
The freezer section. They're the frozen cinnamon rolls. You let them rise overnight.
Oh, but Rhodes is a brand?
Rhodes is a brand.
Yeah.
So we bought those and went home. And then Saturday we woke up and we watched Hamilton. Well, we had cinnamon rolls. She made cinnamon rolls, and they are to die for. So, I was going to get some today. I forgot. Because you could just make one at a time. You know what I'm saying? Because they're individually frozen. So you can just pull one out if you want to, or two, and then, cook them. I don't know if there's like 6 or 8. I think there's just 6 in the bag. And we got the jumbo ones with like that big of a cinnamon roll. And like, they're huge.
So they were. You said they rise overnight.
You put them in the refrigerator overnight in a pan, so they're thaw out, and they rise because they're just like this big of a puck.
Okay.
And then they rise up to about this big. You're not seeing any of this, but think of fist versus hand. That's about the size. What the fist is, and then it goes to the hand.
That's a humongous.
It's a huge cinnamon roll, but it's so good. Then we were like, I said, my whole thing was July 3rd, Hamilton came out on Disney Plus.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was
well,
like...
that was Friday, though.
That was Friday. It came out. So, I mean, it's not going away. It's not like it was a show.
But you didn't watch it on the first day.
I didn't watch it on the first day. I wanted to, but we stayed at the casino and went to eat pizza. So, we got up and then we watched it. And So she's on her phone, and I'm thinking, girl, like, I've seen this live. You need to pay attention. No, she was looking stuff up from, like I do when she's seeing, like, a fact or something. She's, like, looking it up, going and learning more about it because she's an educator. She's a principal.
Yeah, she needs to shut that off.
She was, like,
we all do that,
looking into it. And she was
that's
like,
nothing against her, but we do that
Right. Yeah,
as a society
I do it
probably
too.
too much. Like, just do that
watch,
later.
Well, anyway,
watch what's in front of you.
She'd stop it. So this is a 2.5-hour
okay.
show. She'd stop
No.
it, and she'd be like this. Did you know that? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no. So we'd talk, and then we'd sit there, and then all of a sudden she was like this. Pee break. Bonk. Intermission. And so we got up. Took us 3 hours to get through this movie. And so she was like, I'm doing this for you. Because she's not one for musicals. I've tricked her into.
It's educational.
I think it was Into the Woods. I think it's Into the Woods, the movie.
Come here.
I was like, oh, you should see this one. And then she saw it. She was like,
that was a musical.
that movie had singing trees. I'm sorry.
I gotcha.
Like, she'll go musicals, live theater, but when it comes to shows, she's not that big.
Well, but this Hamilton, it wasn't
it's
just
a
like,
musical.
okay, I didn't know if it was like a Fathom Events. It's the version they put on stage.
It's the first, yes, it's the stage version.
That's what I thought when you
mentioned it. It's the initial real first cast.
Right.
It was amazing. It was like recorded in like 2016 or something. But reality is I'm going to watch it like 1,000 more times because I love that show. But she got done because she kept going, I'm doing this for you. And I was like this, okay, like, cool. And then we got done and she goes, I am kind of glad I watched that. But she did end up buying her own Disney Plus because we use mine. And she was like, she got out of mine and then she logged into she bought her own because she was like, there's too many good shows on there that I want to watch.
Disney Plus to you. I can't even keep up with Netflix.
Disney Plus, when the algorithms are like hearing Disney Plus and they pull up this podcast, Disney Plus, just realized I have on my Mickey Mouse shirt.
She does.
I am planning some stuff at Disney. We go all the time, and if Disney Plus wants to be a sponsor.
Yeah, and then maybe I would go. I actually been to Disney World as an adult, but it's been a long time. When you live in Kansas, it's a little bit not the easiest thing if you're not a usual traveler.
Yeah, I'm a
like
usual traveler. I'm missing it right now. So anyway, so we did that. I just need to let my summer start. I just want to get out of this flippin' house.
Oh, man.
I have been watching way too much television, and this is what they tell you not to do. They're like, get out, enjoy the world, and I sit in my studio/office/basement here. You can't see outside. I mean, I could, but then I just see a deck, and I don't even know what's going on. It's like it's still winter to me. And then I walk out to get the mail, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot breathe. It's so hot. So for 4th of July, after we got back, well, we went to the casino, and I lost all my money. It was gone. Like, I was like, not a good weekend.
Today's the 8th, so
yes.
4 days ago.
So I'd lost all my money, and I told her, I said, I'm not going to go tomorrow, which would have been Sunday. Because there was a 3-day little thing. I said, I'm just going to go home. So I came home and went out to get the mail when I got home, and my neighbors had been blowing off fireworks, and I had been invited to a big fireworks show with one of my clients was putting a big show.
You came back Saturday night?
Came back Saturday night. And I went out to get the mail, and the air was so thick, and I'm so allergic to all that stuff that I just came in the house, and I didn't do anything. I didn't even go out. My neighbors put on World War IV, World War V. I think there was 3 or 4 wars going on in this neighborhood because our county commissioners, as smart as they are, decided we didn't need our fireworks show this year. We're going to do it in September. So everybody went out
for it
and bought fireworks. Now think about the financial ramifications. What the county did was doubled, if not quadrupled, fireworks sales, which is tax revenue. Let's cancel the free show, and now all these people that don't have the money went out and spent money on all these fireworks because there was a lot. Like, I've never had this much fireworks in my neighborhood.
See, what I didn't usually most years, I'm near my house and I go find a place nearby where I can kind of watch everybody set them off. And just the way it worked, I was out and about and enjoying the weather that day and came back later than I would have been. But still, I ended up in different parts of town But by all accounts, as far as I could tell, it was at least 50% more. At least 50% more.
It was
personal
ridiculous.
Fireworks, and it may have been 2.5, 3 times.
It was tons.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I've never, and you know what? I don't complain about it because I used to love doing fireworks. I'm sitting in here. I turned on my TV.
I'm not complaining either.
I watched my television. I want them to enjoy. My house didn't get burnt down, so that was a plus. It rained in the morning, so it made everything wet, which was really nice. And I hope that everybody had a great 4th of July. I am not one of those nagging people. You know the 4th of July is going to be coming around, and yet a week or so before, everybody's like, remember to be this, and remember that there's animals, and remember, I am so sorry, but, you're making me wear a mask. And then you're telling me, you just don't tell me that not to do fireworks because you need to go to a quiet place. If something really bothers something, maybe somebody needs to come up with a silent room and rent that out during 4th of July. But people are going to do the fireworks. And you complaining about it, it's just a waste of your energy.
Well, unfortunately for me, it's more that, but it bothers me. And it's kind of just down the same. To me, it was almost like a precursor to this current situation.
Right.
Well, but it could be better, It could be quieter, so I don't know that you should be able to do this. And I've never liked that. Actually, the new cat was not too bothered. I got some new curtains that were like really light blockers, and they're so heavy they're probably sound blockers too. Right. So I made sure no windows were open and those curtains were closed. It really wasn't too bad in there, honestly.
Mine was loud, but like I said, I went to bed early and it just put me to sleep. It's like 11 o'clock. Like, it's like thunder to me. I can sleep. I'll sleep through anything. Boom, 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 boom. But anyway, I did finally finish on Sunday. I took myself down a very dark, depressed road because I had to finish the shows. I mean, there's 4 seasons, and I'd been watching season 3 and 4. No, 13 Reasons Why.
Oh, that's the one about suicide, right?
The suicide one. And but it's not just about suicide. It's just...
That's just what everybody knew about it early.
Well, I mean, that's what the first one was about, a girl who commits suicide and leaves a bunch of tapes about her being raped, and she witnessed a friend being raped, and it was just all this stuff. And then people die, car accidents, murder, more abuse, mental like breakdowns, and these poor kids, what they go through. And there were a couple shows that were so hard to watch, but I needed to finish it. Like, I was like, no, you know what? I'm done with this, but I need to get through. And at least the last episode was more uplifting, giving hope for the remaining kids when they graduated from high school. And so it was more of, I know our life sucked, but we're going to be awesome, and we're going to move forward. And everybody kind of left the show.
I wish people would understand that,
left the show that, you know what, it's okay that bad things happen and that we have secrets, and instead of ruining our lives because of this past abuse, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that spouse that's abused their whole life,
right?
And they turn around and they kill the abuser, and then they go to jail. Like, how fair is that? It deals with a lot of that stuff. It deals with the school does a lockdown drill that is horrifying. Yeah. And so I finished that. I was like, oh my God. And now I miss my dysfunctional children in there. I'm like, Kim, quit. But I only
stopped
watched
Breaking Bad because it got too dysfunctional. And even though it was great, I'm like, I just don't know if I can watch any more of it.
Well,
I know I don't even mean judgmental, but just that feeling like, how much more do I want to see of this, even though it's portraying something really, really well, and the actors are good, and it's got funny parts, and by all accounts everybody likes it. Just some of these things get to you enough. So, but that reminds me of we've had other episodes about this, and not to be condescending in any way, but whenever you've been through it, at least during your marriage and stuff, but you always got to remember there can be a new day, and especially when you're
right.
I just wish teenagers would understand more. So little of your life is that first 16 to 18 years,
right?
And the difference between what you were at 18 and what you are even at 25 can just be night and day difference,
right. Yeah, and before why you just said that, because that is awesome. It fits in. Today I did a superstar segment which will come out next week with Oleg. I gotta look at the name. It's Oleg
totally
Lohid, and
they call me Mr. Transition.
That. Yes, it was a perfect transition, because if you want to know more about what you just talked about how you're in control of everything in your life. And you can choose to have a bad day, or you can choose to have a bad day, turn it around. Oli and I talked about that, and he is an awesome young guy from Austin, Texas. His story, you can go see it on called Overcoming the Odds Today. And what you're going to find out, he's the one that was adopted from a Russian orphanage.
We'd mentioned previewed that in previous
correct.
episodes.
We in our interview, we don't really talk about that. We talk about is that he is a national speaker. He goes and he speaks about all different stuff. He talks about self-esteem, he talks about self, and he almost matched me perfectly when it came to it, to how he uses past experiences and believes that the bad things that have happened to him has actually been able to help people. So it's going to be a great superstar segment. So you are definitely going to want to go back and listen to that, because it will come out before this show airs. So go find him, go find Scott's, go find Heather's, go find Val's. Those are my superstar segments, and I'm going to start planning to do about one a week of those as well. I'm meeting with a bunch of superstars. They're awesome people, and that's pretty cool. So make sure. That's our little cut-in. I didn't do a commercial today with him. But anyway, all right, and we're back.
Boy, that superstar segment sounds quite the deal there, Kim.
We're so professional around here. But anyway, I started watching down in Dallas. I started watching a show called The Order, and it has witches and werewolves in it. And I kind of like all that stuff. I really prefer my channel? This is Netflix.
Okay.
Anyway, there was 2 seasons of it, and Robert started watching it, and we watched like 2 or 3 episodes while I was down in Dallas, and I got hooked on it. And so I'm on season 2. Tyson, you may speak.
As I was asking the follow-up question about it, I kind of interrupted you saying, I prefer my hot
vampires. You know that.
So did they have them?
No. This is werewolves and witches.
You should have seen the disappointment on her face when she said that.
No. I mean, if you have a witch and a werewolf, where's your vampire? But one of the werewolves the werewolves are cute, but they're like my daughter's age.
Come here, buddy.
Yeah, they're they're just not vampires though. Yeah, Damon Salvatore. He can vampire. He can suck the blood out of me anytime. Just telling you.
Oh lordy.
Vampire Diaries. Anyway, but then so I finished my 13 Reasons Why, watching The Order. But so after 13 Reasons Why, I got to start The Politician, and The Politician is about a young man who wants to be president, and so now he's just basically trying to run for president of his class. And it's not a big comedy kind of a thing, but it's funny, but it's kind of it's more serious, but it's called The Politician. And the young man who plays the lead was actually in oh my gosh, I just forgot the name of the show, Pitch Perfect. And if you watch Pitch Perfect, the guy that tries out for it, and you would love Pitch Perfect. It's. I
know I would. It's one of those where I've seen just enough so it's pretty funny, and I like female comedic.
Would love it,
but
you would love it.
Of course, I wouldn't watch it on my own accord.
Okay, well then we'll watch it. I have all 3 of them, and you'll love them.
Can't wait.
You can. My friend Jay and I would go and see them. They're fantastic.
I've seen just a little bit whenever I go visit Mom, and my sister puts on a movie, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty funny, but I would never sit and watch the whole thing by myself.
But anyway, in the show, the guy that plays the guy that doesn't make it, and he is he's the magician. He plays this really goofy character. He's a Broadway singer. Who knew? And he's the lead in this show. So, like, last night they were at a funeral, and he sang a song in there.
That you said in The Politician?
In The Politician.
Oh, okay.
He came up and he sang a song because one of his friends had passed away. So anyway, that is what I'm watching. Yes. Again, why are we raising our hands? Like, I feel like a teacher here.
I have been watching my Sling TV a little bit more.
Ooh.
Because I went ahead and traced the output from my computer all the way out to my TV, so I can support 3 screens, and it's just easier. The Sling TV's app off the phone does not work very well for Chromecast. And so I've actually been watching a little bit more and watched a good portion, or I guess maybe all the first season of Expedition Bigfoot. Very good. I love that stuff. And then also, they did find some weird stuff too. Obviously, they never found Bigfoot. However, they found a hair that was odd. They found some infrared where someone like your size is in a field. The guy's like, hey, why don't you go over there, because they tend to approach single people more. I'll be back here off away watching you with infrared and just telling you if anything's close. And then he's like, yeah, there's just a little bit to your right. You should see it. And it's like easily the bulk is 4 to 5 times this woman.
Oh, wow.
And it's like it's right there, but she doesn't see it. It's in the dark. Anyway, I've been watching that. That was pretty good. And then I've been watching a little bit of the thing on Skinwalker Ranch, which is that crazy ranch out in Utah where all kinds of weird stuff is supposed to happen. There's some oddities going on there. I've only watched a couple episodes where geomagnetically they brought an astrophysicist on to kind of help coordinate the studies and stuff. And it's some strange things. So those are 2 things I've been watching.
Very cool. Very cool. We still have to pick our movie review, and we have to watch it and then immediately talk about it, or maybe record while we're watching it. We'll figure out something.
Yeah.
We'll figure out
Mystery
something.
Science Theater.
So anyway, the other day I had to, and I've already told you about this, I had to get my internet fixed. And the lady at the counter told me when I went in, oh yeah, I'm going to do everything for you. All you have to do is just plug in your modem. Everything's going to be perfect. And then you can just call this number. And I said, is that the number where I'm not going to get a hold of somebody? She's like, no, it's a special number. Okay, lie number 1.
Yeah, that's the ticket.
That's it. And so I get home, and guess what? Modem doesn't work.
No, it's a special number.
It is a special number, yeah.
Yeah, that's a ticket.
That's it.
You'll love that.
Anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, I had all that fiasco. So I call the number, and it says on there, you can text this number if you want it quicker, but you're going to be on the phone all day long because we're not going to answer your phone call. And I was like, okay. So I text the number, and a conversation comes up, and it says, when someone can get with you, they'll contact you. And I'm like, okay. Next thing you know, it's like, hi, how can I help you? Do you want technical support? Do you want this or that? So you put in a number, and then they start the conversation. And I think
Via text?
Via text. Okay. So I think we're going to kind of read through some of this text that I got so that you guys can hear this. But as I'm answering the questions, it's like, I need this, I need this, I need this. And so I'm answering the questions and doing what I'm supposed to do. And then it's like, I need the model number. And I was like, there is no model number. It's on the back of the modem. There's nothing on the back of the modem. The model number's on the back of the modem, but there's no model number on here. I can send you a picture. I can't accept pictures. Oh, well, that's probably smart, because we wouldn't want a fake person to get like a dick pic or something. So,
the old no model number on the back of the modem trick. I use it all the time.
Yeah, because I didn't think about that, but people be stupid to send bad pics. But anyway, finally, I just, are you human? Are you a computer? I'm human. I need your model number. No flippin' human is going to have absolutely no compassion in a text message. Like,
once you're even asking, like, are you even human?
Are you human? And so the thing is
yes, absolutely. I need your model number.
I need your model number. Yeah, so personable. I don't know. Are you single? They even have names. So anyway, at that point, I was like, this is crap. So I had to stop that conversation. Then I found the model number on the box. The Cox Communication, while I was texting these people, called me, didn't recognize the number, said, yeah, your model number doesn't match. The box doesn't match the modem. We need you to call, and we can do it over the phone here. Called them, left a message. Have they called me back yet? No. 3 weeks later, not a happy camper. But reality is, I retexted it, gave them all the information, found the model number, got the modem working. Hallelujah. I didn't have any phone. So that was that one. But then I was talking with my friend when I was in Kansas City this weekend, and she had gone to Ulta, and she was telling me the story. She goes, did I tell you my Ulta story?
Your what story?
Ulta.
I don't know what that
makeup.
is. Oh, well, no wonder I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is.
You're like, come on.
You got the VIP gold card of Ulta. It's got a bunch of hair products and all that kind of stuff in it.
There's actually one here then, because I knew there was one, but I couldn't remember. They're over in.
It's over by Five Below.
I didn't know if that's that Ulta or Ulta.
It's Ulta.
Ulta, like ultimate, kind of, but with an A instead.
Yeah. Okay. So she said she went in and they had a buy two get one free, and then so she had like $100 and some worth of products in her basket. She grabbed 3 things off of the counter right by the sign, went up to buy it, and it didn't ring up right. And so she goes, no, that's on the thing back there. It's buy two get one free. And she's like, oh, well, let me get the manager. The young child comes over to her and says, oh, yeah, those aren't styling things. Those are treatments. She goes, but I use them to style my hair. I know, but they're treatments. And she was like, but they're on the shelf with the sign. Yeah, they're not part of the sale. And so she says to her, with her $100 and some worth of product, during a pandemic when they've had to be closed and, bridges are opening up, fine, then I don't want any of this. Okay, have a great day. That's awesome customer service, Ulta. Real good. Well, I've trained Frankie, because normally she would have just gone off and she would not have been a nice person. And I mean, she is a principal, so she will turn you upside down, and she's got the words for it. I'd call her, she is a doctor. But I've trained her that you get farther by turning their asses in. So she went out to the parking lot, called Ulta, talked to someone on the phone, and they said, blah, 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 we're going to give you a $20 gift card, and we'll, for your troubles, which would have been enough to basically cover the free thing. So, okay, so this was on Friday. So I think it was on Friday. So she gives it a day or whatever, and she doesn't get the gift card. So she goes online and she sends them an email, telling them the story, exactly what happened. Email comes back and just goes, we're so sorry that you had a problem with the product. Can you give us this information? Just a generic email. Mm-hmm. So I'm at the house. This is Saturday, and I'm at the house, and I went, oh, no.
Not active enough?
You need to respond back and say, I do not want some artificial intelligent person attempting to take care of my complaint. I need a human to actually read the email so that I can get something taken care of here.
I am a human.
The next thing, she gets the email back that goes, we have sent your email up, to somebody else, meaning now a human's going to actually get it.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of like when I said off air, I said, whenever I hear that, I go, operator, and it goes,
right.
I'm sorry, I did not understand your selection.
I go, operator,
That is not among the options.
operator,
Okay, we'll send you to customer service.
So it's funny that if you do that via email, it might
like,
see that and go, okay, it's actually routed.
And I said, you said, I need to speak to a human. You've got to, you have to be on your words because these computers are running off of a database of words and they know how to recognize them. They don't have a brain, but when they see, I need to speak to a human, okay, well, I guess this needs to go someplace else. So I don't know what happened, but that's what spurred me because I had my text message, then I had this, and I thought, how horrible is customer service when you are now allowing a computer to attempt to smooth things over? Now, I am not saying that all of the artificial intelligent software is bad. When you call up, and if it's simple questions that I'm just going to have to say it to a human,
like routing,
and it's easy, like a 1, a 5, a 2, say my number, say my account name, whatever, to get where I need to get the information. I don't care if I'm talking to a computer, but when I am passionate
can I get your digits?
Oh, you could have the cool AI software. You could come up with that. Be like, yo, what up? How's it going today?
How about I catch you on social media?
Yeah, social media.
What's your handle?
But I'm not
Tweet you later. That's what I love about even doing that is it sounds so unauthentic when I even try.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're single for a reason. It's all right.
True.
But I believe that there's a purpose for it.
The routing makes perfect sense. And aside for that, though, is there's a lot of room for improvement in some places as to like order of routing and sequencing and stuff like that. Because if you don't do it right and you do it, because one of your main things of this is that you got to be careful about when you use it and how you use it as a business owner, and you've got to even think through that. Like, okay, you put this in the wrong sequence, or you don't build it right, and even as you're trying to pick which one's which, then it's really inconvenient even just to route properly for somebody, and that can turn them off. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, and we were talking about that. If you've got more than 3 or 4 options for me to pick from, I'd rather go like 5 sequences, meaning pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, 2. Pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, 3. Pick 1, pick 2, pick 3. But when you go pick 1 for blah, 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 pick 2 for blah, 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 pick 3, blah, 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 pick 4, blah, 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 pick 5, blah, 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 pick 6. Okay, you've just lost me because I'm writing things down, and if I forget, now I have to freaking go through all those again. There's too many options. So, you have to think about attention span is, do you want this, or this? Click. Okay, I pick now. Do you want this, or this? Click. Yeah. So, like when you call the state of Kansas, it should say, is this personal or business? Boom, business. Is this for taxes? This or this? Taxes. Is it for it's so now you know it's business. You know it's business, and you know it's taxes. So is it withholding, sales, liquor, or other?
Right.
And so boom, boom, boom. And other could be your cigarette, your excise, your whatever. But that's like 1% of the phone calls.
You saying that, you saying that it needed to be fairly concise so you're not forgetting by the end of the list. Well, because you hear one, you go, that's probably it, but I need to listen to another.
I know.
And that reminds me of a bit by Brian Regan, who talks about smoke signals, and he just purposely acts like they'd be way too wordy. And at the end of the word, it's been very good. It's at the end of the conversation. It's been wonderful to speak to you. Say hi to your beloved. Got to go running out of smoke. So it reminds me of that. So it reminds me of that when you said, okay, I am lost now because you just gave me too long of options and too many. Because I'll do that where it's like, okay, it's probably 2. I think it's 2. But I'm like, oh, there's another option. We're on 5 now. Let me see, am I 2? I think I got to hold up my fingers. Gosh forbid if there's more than one possibility. I got to use 2 hands. Okay, 2 might be it. 4 is possibly it. What am I going to do if there's another option?
I don't know.
Take off my pants. No, that would only have to be number 1. Anyway, yeah.
It could be 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, wow.
Or 7. No. No! Go ahead.
Good gracious. So anyway, but the ones that I am not happy with are customers who believe that they should just have computers with the customer service part when it comes to the complaint part. Information, I'm fine with it.
Routing.
If I want to get the balance of my checking account, boop 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 boop. You have $2,455,000 in your account. I mean, give or take a couple dollars. I don't really know what I have in there right now. I have that
many yen.
Yen.
I said, I'm looking for the option. Can you please give me my balance in yen? Yen, please. I need to feel good today.
I need to feel good. Exactly. So, but when it comes to a complaint, and so when you're dealing with a computer that's just basically being sarcastic to you and condescending because it's just like, oh, I'm sorry you're having that problem. And like you said, what about the people, you know what I'm going to say, when you call up and you're like, and they're like, speak your first name, and you're like, Kim Schultz.
Oh, you mean the AIs? Oh my Lord!
Like they're typing it in, and I'm like this, dude. I've got like 9 letters. You just typed a letter.
I don't know why you're writing. What are you typing? 407 years ago, Kim Schultz brought forth on this continent a new complaint, conceived in frustration.
I know. So, okay, I get what you're doing, but are you being sarcastic with those stupid things? And then, the other day...
We know you're not actually typing. Stop it. Stop.
Right. Well, and when they throw in, the little jokes, it's like, that's cool. And you're like this.
So we're kind of mixing back and forth chat, but they're both can be... Because we know both the the telephonic... and the chat ones do this type of thing.
Right.
They add give it a little bit of human spin there. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You just have a super day.
How's Kansas?
Yeah. It's like, well, hello, how are you doing, Kim?
Took me a second to understand that.
So anyway... I just had that was my biggest thing is to talk about the problems with customer service. When someone is mad at your company, they really just want to talk to a person. Yeah. I can't even think of a time that I'd be mad and I would want to speak to a computer, email a computer, or text a computer.
Especially because they can't even empathize with you well.
No.
I mean, I guess they can do the old, but if they don't have a good program to get to your problem, I am so sorry this happened to you only works so many times.
Right.
So we've as we fought through this, the issue is going to be, I've read a few articles, but none we want to get any detail on, and one of them is it's only as good as your database. Like you had an example of, the model number wasn't on the thing.
Modem. No,
well,
it was not.
And so since their database didn't say have the customer check on their box,
right?
Then you never got that answer.
Nope.
And then a human had to do it later. So if
I did it. I found my own model number, and I went through the text.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I did that through the text, but I walked by and saw the sticker on the side of the box, they had left me a message from Cox. The real people saying, I'm sorry, we didn't get it done. We need to get the number off the box.
Yeah,
and
that's what I meant.
that sent me to go look at the box, and then there was a model number, which, by the way, was half cut off. So I didn't know if I had what the actual numbers were. So,
you had guessed.
So when I talked to the people, I even put on there, this is my model number, or it could be this number. And then they were like, and we've got it taken care of, and it's all taken care of.
And the computer probably wouldn't have even done well with that. So there's so much complication. And if my closest experience with this would be that I've been a few situations when I was with a big corporate here in town and then I've also worked some customer service, and so I can just think of this when you have this software, this platform that holds customer service, and that's how you deal with it. The managers and the agents can add to a database that helps people, kind of crowdsource those, strange things that comes up. Like if, the nerdy agent named Tyson goes, you know what? I don't want people to be confused by this 2 months from now. I'm going to go ahead and take 15 minutes. Maybe someone can find this later, or maybe I can. Well, those can be very incomplete. And those are humans, and the humans have managers. They go, well, let me just speak to somebody real quick.
Yeah, I need to speak to someone.
The robots don't have that.
No.
And so they got to rely on, if you will, that database even more, let alone some kind of sequence encoding, but certainly just the database that maybe it queries back to and tries to find something. So to your point, the frustration level, if there's not that information, what we read about, and I think you said you had it, it will continue. One article called it, I went into a Groundhog's Day of the coding. At some point, does it keep track of, okay, you've asked this question 3 times? And then the funny thing about that one article that we looked at is they said, I did it. It was, I think, for something like a pickup, like a Uber or a Lyft. I'm not saying that was. But they didn't have a good time with giving the address. So it went to an agent who, before he could get his words out, the customer said, oh, you need to go to, and we threw him right back to it, and it didn't work again, so he's back in the same spot.
I've done that before. I was on hold for, I had an employee who said that they didn't get their paycheck on their pay card, and so I called the pay card people, and it was 20 minutes of being on hold and hitting numbers, and I finally got through to someone, and they said, that's going to take you over to this other department. And I said, okay. And they put me back on hold, and it says, hi, welcome to such and such. And they put me right back to the beginning. I was furious, which I would never have a pay card through any of those pay card people.
Sometimes, if you're not careful, you can do that with agents. So just imagine trying to program it.
Right.
Where if you don't realize for a second, they go, okay, you're actually going to need to talk to this department. They go, let me transfer you. Right. And then before you know it, the second one is like, actually, that's not quite right. We need to transfer you.
Yep.
And then that third one wants to transfer you back to one of the first 2.
Right. I've done that too. That's happened too.
So if the logic's not right, and it doesn't somehow keep track of where you've been and what you've been asked, you can go into this infinity loop, which is not good.
I've done that before, where I'm like, okay, well, you're the 5th person that I've talked to. So if I sound a little bitchy, it's because I've been on the phone for 30 minutes and nobody seems to be seem to be competent.
Right.
At your company. So maybe you are the one with all the brain cells. Are you going to be able to help me? And I'm sorry that I'm being this way, but I've spent 30 minutes, and you can look at the log calls of all the people that have transferred me around. Nobody there wants to do anything. And they're like this, I am really sorry. Or they're thinking, oh, hell. But normally they do it because I do apologize, and I explain to them my frustration. I don't just yell at people. I want them to know what the problem is. And that's with people. You put me on the computer or put me on the phone with some fake person trying to answer questions or in a message or email, I'm going to be mad. I'm just going to get more mad. So what I would rather them do is, I like when you call up and it says it's going to take a little bit longer. We'll call you back when we can. So like I called Southwest because my flights got messed up last year when I was we talked about this, when I was in Atlanta. I had changed my flight, and then they didn't complete the thing, so I literally had another flight the next day out of Topeka. So I had to call Southwest.
I remember you talking about that.
And the second phone call I did, we got something taken care of. No, the first one went right through, but the second one, when I was in Atlanta, it said, we'll call you back, and this is at 9 o'clock at night. We will call you back within an hour. At the number, and I left a name and I left a number, and they called me back in about 12 minutes.
And humans
called me back.
Yeah, that would be better than being in the
so
infinity
much better
loop.
Than to be just like, oh my gosh, because you just get so mad. And as a customer, what happens is most people just get really, really mad, and they just give up. That's what's happening. They give up. They either do two things: they forget about it and they just move on with their life, or they never do business there again. And my friend who had a problem with a grocery store, and she did exactly what I've told her what to do, and they basically told her, "We don't need you as a customer." Okay.
Well,
and she'll never go back in there again.
The old customer service adage is that you better pay attention to someone who really cares enough to expressly complain to you.
Yep.
Because probably 19 of 20, I think, was the percentage that I got quoted.
Right.
Or have the same frustration, but did not take the time.
Yeah.
To maybe they didn't value that relationship with that company as much as the other 19, or the other 19 didn't as much as the one. So you need to pay attention to the one that does expressly complain to you.
Right.
And so
those are the ones you want to keep.
Yeah, and more so because it might represent 19 more people.
Right.
Right. So one thing, when you said you got super frustrated, I know in my past, I think something that would actually make a pretty good, at least radio call, a radio show, if nothing else, would be when it's those stupid routing deals, but it's not, you're already frustrated. Because I have yelled
oh my gosh.
at that routing thing about operator louder than I've yelled at any human ever. It would just be entirely distorted. Like, I think this guy just killed a squirrel just because.
Oh no! I'm talking the phone. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, I'm getting so mad.
Wouldn't that be a good show? Because you're like, well, no one's listening,
yeah.
and it didn't pay attention to that, so I'm just gonna go off. It's like yelling in your car at other. They can't hear you, so you're just like you're venting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like just this convenient venting of steam that you would never do in front of the person.
Oh yeah.
But you're on your own. But instead, you get to yell at a computer.
I know. And then when it re-ratted me around that one time, I went, no! No! Oh my gosh! It was so much. And so now what I've learned is to write it down, like 1, 3, 2, 4, 2, 6, 3, 4, and then you're like this. Boop, beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, 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 boop.
Oh yeah, yeah, gotcha. The sequence, yeah. So when you go back in, the other thing that was related to this that when you say, when we talk about the databases not being good, I had one where I was trying to help my sister. For some reason, she got the super duper router. It's like, how Kansas City was the first Google fiber?
Google fiber? Uh-huh.
Well, supposedly in another part of Missouri. And they're like, oh yeah, we're totally fiber, yeah. And I don't know why they said, yeah, but they did. It was odd. So up where she is, she's doing that, but she can't turn off her Wi-Fi. And I'm like, well, that's impossible because you can always get to your router settings. So anyway, a couple things on that. One is that when I tried to have that long conversation, I think did I end up finally calling them, or was this chat? I think I just chatting. They didn't have a clue. So that might have been a human, but it also could have been a database. And I'm like, well, I just found the instruction manual online for this model, and it says you can go here, here, and here. They didn't have a clue. So I don't know if it was a bad database or what. And the other thing is that I had another one. I can't remember what it was. Electronics related too. So I was online chatting, and the responses were so slow. I decided that if it was human, which I did think at the time, they're handling multiple chats at once.
Right.
Now, how stupidly frustrating is that? It sounds efficient.
Right.
But if you were on the phone with a person and then they said, hold on, and they took a minute and a half and 2 minutes to just respond to have a basic conversation.
Yeah.
It would be frustrating. And so I don't know that businesses understand, if you're going to do that, you got to be real careful with these chats.
Right.
Because if that's going to be very frustrating and not very customer service helpful. And then how do you flag when it's really more of a frustrating thing? Like how do you flag when it gets to that? And then you go, you know what? someone has to take this one separately, or you've got to get off your other, 5 of your other 7 calls. So
Right.
you're only working 2 at once. Are they working that data yet? Because it was taking forever to get. At some point, I'm like, well, I obviously don't have to respond very quick because it's taking them forever to respond.
That reminds me of back in the Yahoo chat days. So the con artists would come on, and George, no, it was something Washington. It wasn't George Washington, but it was something Washington. I'd have to figure out the name, but the last name they used. And when you looked up the picture, it was a JCPenney's catalog photo. Anyway, he was your typical American guy. He lived in Washington, and he was a contractor. He was getting ready to go to Africa, and so, I'm just chatting, but nothing matches. I'm chatting with tons of different people. And when you're on Yahoo Chat, and if you don't know what Yahoo Chat is, then you're probably a child. But if you do know what Yahoo Chat is...
Also count yourself lucky. These were the dark days of the early internet.
Yes, it was very colorful, and it had a lot of... It was dark. It was dark. Anyway, but so I'd be chatting with 4 or 5 different people at one time, and sometimes you put the wrong conversation in the wrong thing or whatever. Well, anyway, he was David Washington. That was his name, David Washington. And anyway, so he goes to Africa. He gets robbed. They rob him, and he can't get back to America, and he needs me to get a money order and to cash a check. And at that point, I was like, oh, you're one of those. So anyway, what I did was I have 2 computers. I had my daughter's computer and I had my computer. So on my daughter's computer, I downloaded Yahoo Chat and I made up a fake profile. And I became a very rich widow with 4 children, and I just have all this money I don't know what to do with. And I reach out to him, and he starts talking to me. And if you go back to my conversation, it's basically the same. Well, that's what he wants.
Right,
he wants money.
That's what's funny.
But it's the same conversation. Now, on my computer, the name, David Washington, is stuck in Africa because he'd been robbed, and the government took all of his stuff out of this room, and he has nothing. I told him to go talk to my friend John at the embassy. I was like, no, I have a really good friend, John. Give me your location. I'll have them come get you. I don't. But I mean, we're just playing with fake people here. But anyway, so on one computer, he's trapped in Africa. On the other computer, he's in Washington getting ready to go to Africa. So now I'm just playing with him. But the way that those worked were, they had a file folder and conversation transcripts of what's gone on. So every day I'm talking to a different person. I'm not talking to any one particular person that's talking to me. They have notes. They're doing this, talking to people. I can't even imagine now they'd have some stupid fake people. I mean, they'd be like, yeah, all you people, because a lot of them, when I did talk to someone who, one of my friends was going to give up her teaching job, and she was getting married to one, and I went into her classroom and she had a picture of the JCPenney catalog photo. And I was like, you are so lucky. I said, the guy that I met like that was actually a con artist. And she was like, oh, and she never got married to him, I don't think. I think she figured it out, but when I think of that, I think of those con artists.
It must have been his twin.
They're like talking.
It must have been his con artist twin.
So it was like like that's what I picture when you're talking about taking on most of it like this. Oh, that was horrific. So glad you like the product.
Right.
What color is your hair now? Does it make you itch? I mean, like, how are you doing that? So here's the thing.
And someone comes back, does my modem make me itch?
Right. Oh, wrong company. Because, I mean, So anyway, customer service, I just don't believe when it comes to the complaint part, if it's done correctly, I don't have a problem with it. But I do, if I have to go through like 12 different steps and I'm still not getting anywhere, and if there's not a place to talk to an adult or a human, like when you hit 0 and it's like, that is not a working function, you're just making me mad. And when I finally do get to an adult, whether it's through email, chat, I'm going to be ridiculously angry at you. So, you know what? Just do we'll call you back. Hire human beings. We have 40 million people right now don't have a job. How many billions?
Well, I don't know, but it just spiked back up.
So
that's what's really spiked. Oh, I'm sorry. We weren't going to go there, but yes.
Well, I'm just saying, we have hire people to take care of the complaints. I know it's not a great job, but if you've got great customer service people, they can talk people down off the ledge, give them a freaking gift card, do what you got to do. So anyway, that's kind of what I was talking about, AI stuff.
Couple associated things with that. Mm-hmm. We were thinking, it doesn't mean that they're not going to keep pushing this. It's a matter of how well they perfect it. But the salesmanship of these companies are always going to be, oh, you got to take this. This is the best. This is absolutely the best thing. And again, devil's in the details. But you think, what did I say that if you've ever been in customer service, you can really get tired? I should say customer service in both directions, just for answering questions. And then if anybody calls in regarding a product, upselling it. Even in person in retail, it's awful, but it also makes sense that someone would want you to do that.
Right.
Robots don't get tired.
No.
Robots don't get tired. So you can imagine that that's a selling point for them. Also looked up that Facebook Messenger chatbot, that's a thing where they're saying something like, rather than all these separate apps, hey, I'm Mark Zuckerberg, and we can help you since people are already on Facebook, and you've got a Facebook presence. You can use our product and start those automatic conversations. You said you've seen that before.
I have seen that before. I personally don't like it. I don't. First of all, if you're on Facebook and you have a page that allows Messenger, I don't mind the conversation. I don't mind the auto response that says, "Hey, someone will get back to you soon."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But I don't want to talk to a computer.
Well, yeah.
If I send them hey, what is your menu? And it's just hi. So blah 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 blah. I just asked for your menu. I just asked for your times. I just asked. I don't need to go through because they're more of we've got to get the information. We've got to do it. But sometimes they'll just send you a message it's an automatic. Mm-hmm. It's an automatic chat thing. So they have control to send all of the fans on their page this thing that says, hey, guess what we're doing? Blah 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 blah. And if you respond to it, because it looks like an ad, it'll start talking to you. And you're yeah, this isn't you. I've sent you a message and you don't answer your messages.
So the other thing about that, too, is right now it's interesting because your expectation on Facebook would be, well, if I send somebody a Facebook message, I wouldn't expect them to get back.
Yeah.
But this starts becoming more of a thing. It's going to be more like a customer service scenario, and then those people who don't have that, I mean, obviously they could have up front that, hey, we answer with a human. We hope to get back to you sometime today or earlier. But it's just going to be interesting that the urgency of a lack of urgency of Facebook right now via message might not be the case in the future if this starts becoming a regular communication channel that is chatbot related.
Actually, about two years ago, could have been 3 years ago, Facebook got really, really serious with their pages. And basically, you would get a message and then it'd be you haven't responded to them. And then they would actually rate your page poor. You get a bad grade if you don't respond to a message so fast. It was a grade on there, and then you would get another message. This person hasn't heard from you, which I didn't mind the message because that just reminded me.
As long as it didn't grade
But it would say on there, takes about 45 minutes or takes 3 days to respond. It told people.
I think it still says that
on there, but they were pushing. Facebook was pushing you to get instant responses. And then that's when they came out with the instant response. And here's the thing: is you do an instant response.
That was a salesmanship. That was really salesmanship. Mm-hmm. Pressure you of the importance of getting back super quick. Grade you down if you don't, and then go, here's our solution.
Here's the solution.
Oh wow, it's like commercial version of problem reaction solution.
Right. Yeah. Well, and if you have the auto, then you still get in trouble if the people respond back to it. Okay, thank you. And then it's okay, you need to respond to them. No, I don't. They said thank you. I told them that I'll get with them within 48 hours. So
along that idea too, this is just totally off the side in a 1 minute deal. I've talked about conspiracy and sock puppets. So there are people there, even in the armed services. You can go find articles that say we have a bunker of people. That's probably dramatic, but whatever. We have a building of people whose jobs 24/7 are to sock puppet, act like their name is Kim from Topeka, and they're just a regular old person who is really not very happy that you had that opinion. Instead of saying we are the government and this is our release and we're trying to convince you as a member of the government. And it's interesting. I wonder where this will tie in, because remember, government contracting is where people think who are already making big money are hoping to make even bigger money. I wonder where this will tie in with sock puppet AI chat. So what I'm saying is, if it can be fairly complex, will there be anything where it's trying to appear as though it really is a human with an opinion having just an organic conversation, and it's really not? That'd be interesting. Right. I wonder what that overlay is. Now, it's not neither here nor there now. It just made me think of, well, you could go down that channel. The more advanced this gets. Yeah. You know, I'm definitely a real person. You're like, that person's probably not even real. Look at these these posts, and then you go, hey buddy, blah 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 blah, and they answer. You're like, I guess they are real. I don't know.
But you have the bots that were the Russian bots and all those people. Those were kind of the same things. I think that they were basically just set up not to really respond, but just to throw out propaganda and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, here's the thing. When I was on Yahoo Chat, anybody on the other side of that computer was a fake person to me until I met them in person. And I met a lot of people from Yahoo Chat in person. Safely, public places. I've got a lot of friends that I still talk to, some very good friends that I've met through Yahoo Chat. Not all of it was a bunch of perverts or liars, or as I used to say, you're just a very, very, very sad person living in your mother's basement that haven't seen the light of day for I don't know how many days. And did she bring you your lunch today and get your laundry done? That's what I would do, because I know that they're not real people. They're not. They're real people, but they're not real people. Meaning they weren't Tyson Harley.
Obviously, I'm 6'3" and 205 raw lean pounds. It's like,
exactly.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're half that, or you're double that.
Right.
And you're paler than the driven snow.
So I don't like when I'm on Facebook. You know, until I've met them and had an actual conversation with them, whatever they say isn't going to bother me, because they're not real to me. And people are like, oh, that's rude. It's like, I don't mean that they're not real. It's just, what they say to me doesn't mean anything, because I don't know who they are. Anybody can type. Anybody can put a picture on their profile. Who knows who anyone is unless I've seen you in a meeting, met you in person, seen a video. I mean, it's got to be live. I don't trust anybody. I did Yahoo Chat. I am a Yahoo Chat survivor. So,
veteran.
Anyway, but I did want to say something. I had a client over here this evening, and I had the Jetsons on, and it was funny because we were talking about some other stuff, and I said, oh yeah, I'm watching the Jetsons. I said, you know that we're almost there. The only thing we really don't have is flying cars. And he was watching it for a while, and he looked at his watch, had his iWatch on. He goes, well, we got the watch because the boss was on his video watch calling George to go do something. And I said, yeah, we have that. You got
some robot maid or something?
Yeah, you got the robots doing stuff. You now talk. I can turn my lights on and off by just talking. I said, we're pretty sci-fi going on right now. I mean, you can watch it. We just don't have the flying cars. And
Except for that whole thing where facts don't matter, but that's another deal.
Have facts ever really mattered? I mean, come on, that's just a waste of time.
I don't know.
All right, guys.
I'm up close to the mic like I'm supposed to be. Hello, Kim.
He's on his pee popper.
Hello, Kim. She's like, get away!
Get back! You need to SD, man. SD.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to bring. Oh no! Don't put that out in the universe. Do not put that out in the ether.
Man.
Now I got to think of something where I could work some word that starts with T in the middle of that.
I know. I was trying it.
Yeah.
Social.
No. Stay 18 feet away from me. Socially triple distance, man. STD, man.
Oh, we're awesome.
I don't know about that.
Oh, no, we are. We're like this, man, you need to STD. What? Like, social distance, triple distance away from me, man. Social triple distance. Social triple distance. You need to stay 18 feet away. I crack us up. We're funny.
Oh, boy, we're getting to be that time, aren't we?
All right, guys. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And we appreciate our listeners.
Next week we're going to sound like this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It goes in tomorrow, so I don't know what we're going to do. But
No, I'll leave it like this. You can do it like this because you gotta like roll like the lady from Charlie Brown.
it's going to sound like we're, you know, like when you're staying over at your friend's house and you're both underneath a blanket.
I don't know.
Next week we're going to be under a blanket together.
You're like, I don't think you understand. The fabric's supposed to be between you.
Oh, not over us then? No, not over you. Okay.
So when was the last time you had a friend over and you were under the blankets?
Excuse me. My new cat and I, just last night. I'm like, hey, I'm like, hey, buddy, did you hear about the widow over on 10th and Johnson in that old house?
Was Robin outside the window trying to see in your blinded
Flashlights under there?
No, your curtains can't see, like peck. Hey, can I get peck? Slumber party. Tyson had a slumber party. I had Robin and I had my cat. Sounds like a good time.
You know it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see if I can finish this out. So we appreciate our listeners and are excited our show is growing so fast. Make sure to comment in our Facebook group, Kimology411. I will be over there a little bit more because my personal page, I'm kind of like getting out of that. Another post today, I have about 300 comments, and a lot of my people on my page think that, you know, closing down businesses and destroying lives is what we need to do. That's ridiculous, and it makes me selfish. So I have to stop with them, but I'd love to see you guys over in Kimology 411. And if you haven't joined yet, you really should. Thank you, Tyson, for helping make Kimology 411 so awesome.
You bet. Thank you.
And we will talk to you guys soon. And please make sure to keep taking all of your adventures. Bye-bye.